All right, looks like we are live again. I cannot quit you this evening. It seems like we are just going to have several warnings popping, so I am back to talk about it. Uh, so, one area is actually not warned that we're going to talk about, but let's start off here where we do have warnings up here in Natchitoches and Wynn Parish, as well as parts of Sabine. This again is going to be clearing out of Sabine shortly, but we do have a couple of warnings up here, and these are tagged as tornado possible. Right now, not seeing a lot of rotation in those, but I did see some earlier. Let's go ahead and go through that. And you can kind of see here near Natchitoches, northwest of Natchitoches, we did have a little area there where it looked like that line was kind of getting interesting. Doesn't look the same now. Turn my sound down on my phone. I had the alerts up for a bit just in case. Okay, so this is the Shreveport site showing that rotation again near Natchitoches. This was a little while ago, but we're not seeing much of that anymore. There still is the severe threat. There still is the tornado warning for this area up here in Bienville Parish, as well as southern parts of Lincoln Parish, and then into Jackson, northwestern Jackson Parish as well. Closer to home, we still have that warning in place down in, sorry, wrong one, down into Beauregard Parish. I think we might end up getting a warning on this cell right here. This one's pretty interesting here in southeastern Vernon. And this is going to be heading right up over Rapides Parish, including Alexandria, over the next hour or so. So this storm right here, you can kind of see there is a little bit of a hook shape to it. Whoops, pause. Okay, a little bit of a hook shape. There's your appendage right there. Kind of see that right there. And there's your supercell thunderstorm that is looking fairly classic in that sense of things. When we look at velocity, it doesn't look like anything too terribly crazy, but we are seeing a little bit of wind coming toward the radar and some strong winds going away from that. So it is something to definitely watch. I'm going to go to the Lake Charles radar, and you can see that here at 3,600 feet, there is mid-level rotation in that storm and in our severe storm to the southwest. So I think we will probably end up getting a warning on that one, but we do not have it yet. So we will see if they decide to issue that. If nothing else, it's a pretty stout-looking storm, and you can see here on the base velocity an even better look at that. Let me go ahead and take a look at the wind speeds in this. And again, these are 700 feet up, so this is a little high up there, but 45 to 50, 60 miles per hour, perhaps 800 feet above ground level. It's not going to take a lot to get that down to ground level. Close to the radar site, we're getting lighter winds, and this is a more true reading of what's happening right there at the ground at 31 miles per hour. But it's very possible that we have some stronger winds coming out of these storms. Looking at the storm relative velocity, and I'll put it in motion, you can kind of pick out, and again, we're in the lower levels of this one. You can see that there is some rotation involved in there. I kind of like doing it like this better. A little smoother coming there east of Rose Pine, and you can see how those winds on the northern side have actually intensified, and we're getting that rotation with that cell. And that's in the low levels, so it is something to watch very closely. I don't see any sort of warning on this as of now, and when I check my phone, a lot of times what I'm checking is to see if they'll say, hey, we're issuing a warning in 2 or 3 minutes or something, as they're getting the data out there and putting all the cities in and everything like that. So not seeing that right now, so that is some good news, but that is a storm that I am watching not only for severe weather potential, but for some heavy rainfall potential as well. And we're really seeing here from western Rapides Parish down to the Texas border in western Beauregard Parish. I mean, watch this over the last couple hours. Some of these spots like Rose Pine, DeRidder, you've been getting pounded with heavy rain over the last hour. Rainfall estimates on radar over the last hour showing some areas probably right there over DeRidder, actually. Yeah, that's right at about 2 inches in 1 hour. And that's what's actually fallen in the hour. 2.2 inches. They're estimated what has fallen. But why that's impressive is it's raining hard if it rains 2.2 inches per hour for 5 minutes. If it does it for a whole hour and that's your average, that is incredibly impressive stuff. Sometimes you'll get 3 to 4 inch rain for 10 minutes, per hour, and that's not going to give you as much as this is going to give you over the stretch of an hour here. So 2.2 inches in DeRidder, that's the estimate in the last hour. Let's go 3 hours. Not much. It's all happened in the last hour, but we are seeing some 2 to 3 inch totals down to the southwest from this. Now, let's go and put this one in motion, clear this out. And This is a good way to see where the heaviest rain is tracking. So it's not moving due east here. We're seeing actually this is kind of moving toward the east-northeast, probably about 35 to 40 miles per hour on that. And you can see that it is getting a little stronger here as these storms continue to run over the same locations. So some 2+ inch per hour totals with rates, instantaneous rates, even higher than that. I believe I can actually get the instantaneous rates. Let me look at something and see if I can do that. It's entirely possible that I'm lying to you, but okay, I don't see that. Oh, wait. DP rain rate. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. I was not lying. Okay, so when I say that you can get some impressive rain rates, these are instantaneous. So this is what's falling right now. If this were to fall continually for an hour, this is what you would get. 7.4 inches per hour, 7.7. So yeah, it's coming down in buckets. When you average it out and you get that to happen for a while, then you get 0.08 inches for an hour, and then you get maybe 0.71, and you mix it all together, and you still get that 2.2 inches that actually fell in an hour near DeRidder, and that's why you get flood warnings, because you can't handle that much water in that short of a period of time. But these instantaneous rain rates show us where that heaviest rain is and where it's going when we put it in motion. And here's what we're seeing here with those purples now moving up into Vernon Parish, and that's going to be moving through Rapides and northern Beauregard over the next, I would say, well, it's in Vernon and Beauregard now, but over the next hour, hour and a half here in Rapides Parish. I told my family to go ahead and come home from LeCount because it's pretty rough out there. 2 trees fell by our home, hit a shed and an empty house outside DeRidder city limits. Okay. In fact, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the stream going, but I'm going to look and see in the damage report thread. So I posted that. Oh, only 7 comments. That's good. Okay. Yep. Gotcha. Good. Not seeing much going there. Okay, that's good. Now, I did hear that report there in the thread with this video here that 2 trees down by their house there in outside the DeRidder city limits. So let me go and take a look at reflectivity. Still have that warning going on. We still have these warnings up here for wind, parts of Natchitoches and Sabine Parish. I would say Sabine Parish, you're close to being cleared out of that warning. The heaviest of that cell is definitely off to your east. But over the next, I would say, 30, 40 minutes, it's really going to go downhill here in Alexandria, Pineville, Ball, Tioga. All of you that are, in the metro area, if we want to call it that, that's where things are about to take a turn for the worse. So if you are out around town, you're deciding, do I want to stay here at this restaurant? Well, if you want to stay for another 5 minutes or so, you're probably okay. But if you stay much longer, you might get stuck there, and it's going to just really be difficult to travel in this kind of activity. So I would say leave now, get home in this rain and lightning before this stuff gets in there. Seeing a little bit of a downward pulse in the lightning up here. Still these storms down to the south where the instability is a little bit better. They're really going off on the lightning there. But see, Maryville has trees and power lines down. Okay. Crazy heavy rain in LeCamp. Avoyelles, you're next. I mean, you're next after Rapides. So this is going to continue on to the east, and I think we'll see some very heavy rainfall and thunderstorms area-wide. I mean, St. Landry Parish, you're going to see it. I had 100% chance for rain in the forecast today, and I think we will see that verify with everyone getting the rain. The question is just how much severe do you get? Because let's see, on the accumulation, let's go back and take a look at the last 12 hours. Some areas have seen pretty crazy rain totals. I mean, estimates here in Sabine Parish, these are estimates, not reality, 5.3 inches, maybe approaching 6 inches out there in deep East Texas. Obviously, you haven't seen the rain yet in St. Landry and parts of Avoyelles Parish. Here in Rapides, only a couple tenths of an inch of rain, and then that heavier stuff is coming up through Vernon Parish right now. So trust me, that's about to change, but we are seeing very wide swings. The areas to the west where we've seen these storms already, obviously the ones that are seeing the higher totals. So I can't say, like right here, we have crazy strong storms in Vernon and western Rapides and northern Beauregard. You go into northern Vernon, though, and right now it's raining in Anacoco, but it's not much thunder going on, not seeing a lot of lightning with those. We're seeing lightning downstream of this storm, actually, that's heading into Alexandria, and that's why I keep hearing these rumbles out here. So, There's no imminent threat for a tornado. I see all the like little individual towns we're talking about here, but I will say that the general threat remains. There is a tornado watch until 2 a.m. I don't think it's going to last that long. I think Sabine and then these counties out in Texas will get cut off first. Let's see, and they're watching that cell closely in the southeastern Vernon Parish storm. Rotation has been off and on, not really getting a good signature on it. If it becomes more consistent or stronger, then they would issue a warning on it. So they're watching it. They're always aware. I mean, the National Weather Service is awesome at their job, and they're watching that one, and they're issuing another flood warning for Texas. So we have seen several flood warnings in Texas, and this one that includes Vernon and Beauregard Parish here in Louisiana. We've had tornado warnings. We still have one up into North Louisiana here. This includes the area just south of Ruston. Let me look and just make sure this one's behaving itself. Still seeing some rotation there, but it does not look very strong. Yeah, not seeing much on that one. Let me go back to this radar, and I'll put this in motion. And you can see these showers. It was kind of moving a little more east, but these are starting to kind of get pulled up and toward the northeast, and that's why we're seeing some showers and storms. And you can see in that anvil, in that upper level part of the storm that's shooting over the top of this lighter rain, and we're actually seeing this lighter rain falling out of the anvil of this thunderstorm. We're getting lightning coming out of that as well. So where it's not even looking like there's a storm really on radar, we're still seeing that lightning popping. So it's not safe to be outside in most of Rapides Parish right now. I don't like lightning. I like watching it on the cameras and stuff, but I don't like being stuck out in it. Let me go ahead and take a look real quick, show you a couple other things. I had been watching, and they might be into the storm now. There's your slight risk for severe weather. This was the Natchitoches camera, or is the Natchitoches camera, and this thing was absolutely lighting up here a little while ago. And we're not seeing a lot now. I think we're probably seeing that the worst of that storm is now moving through, and it's going to be past this camera. Let's see, looking west from Alexandria, we're probably seeing some pretty good lightning now. Still some wet roadways. Let me see how much rain I've gotten so far. 0.13 inches, nothing. So it's, enough to wet the roadways and all that stuff, but we have not seen the heavy stuff coming in yet. I'm expecting that lightning to really start to pick up here in the next half hour or so as these storms continue on toward the east-northeast. But that's just kind of a lookout around town right now, not seeing much going on here. Future track, this is our HRRR model. This is a model you can access. You can see this stuff. This is publicly available. I see certain pages that'll be like, subscribe to see the model data. I'm like, but it's free. Just go find it. It's very easy. HRRR, Google that. You'll find the HRRR model. H and then 3 R's. Easy stuff. Here's what we're looking at right now by 8 o'clock, which is in 1 minute. Actually, I think we're a little ahead of the game on this one. This line is not quite here yet, but it's getting close. You can see over the next few hours, we just kind of see this line translate slowly to the east, and probably by about 11 or 12, that's going to cross into Mississippi out of our area, and that's going to bring some severe threat, I think, into Mississippi and southeast Louisiana, but that's going to get away from us at that point. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. I want to see dew points down to 61 at Toledo Bend. That's encouraging. That's another thing with these cameras. We put a weather station with each of them, so I can watch these little subtle nuances and see where that front is, where things are happening, and, actual visuals of the storm, which is pretty cool as well. But we have a dew point at 61 there. We go down the road just a little bit to Leesville. It's 66. There's a difference there, and that difference is significant in weather. And there's lightning in Leesville. All right, of course. Yeah, they actually do have a lot of storms in that area as well. So that camera down here, certainly going to be seeing a lot of that lightning that's going on right now. And this storm going right over top of the radar site, I think what I'm going to do is try to use the Lake Charles and just see if I see any better structure to that. But they're being aware of that storm and not actually having a warning on it. I like that. That shows me that, it doesn't show me that for sure we are in the clear with this, but so far things are staying fairly well behaved, even though it's pretty loud out there. I'm going to do base velocity. Okay. Yeah, I mean that there's definitely a little low-level rotation to this, but as of now, no warning on that. So what I'm gonna do while we don't have a warning, actually the other warning was canceled on that. or allowed to expire. We have these warnings up here, but no tornadic threat is imminent. So I'm going to step away for a bit. You know, I'll be right here and ready to hit the button and go back live again should I need to. And I think I will, especially as things start to get loud here in Rapides Parish, which it's already starting to do. All right, guys, I will see you back here in a bit. Be safe and, just listen for the warnings. They're all going to come out over social media and through the app if they impact you. So that'll be a good idea for you to download the Cenla Weather app and visit the website, all that good stuff. And you can stay ahead of the game weather-wise, or just stay tuned to the social media stuff, and I'll be here live to talk about it. All right, see you in a bit.